Hi everyone. Alright, so this is going to be my week 3 video. So there was a lot going on this week, I think, with just a lot of reading and a lot of different concepts that I could go over. So it was hard for me to pick what I thought was honestly the most important. But I have all of my notes over here again, so So obviously one of the most important concepts is social vulnerability, just because that's like the main concept of this week. Because there was so much reading, I think sometimes I get lost when I read too much because I'm just like, wow, this is so much information. So I honestly felt like I learned more watching the video. So some things that I took away from the video was basically, again, people knowing what to do in a disaster. I think the people that were in that organization were wanting to learn more than what they already knew, which is great. And I like how they focused on taking care of the elderly, because I don't know why I didn't think about that, but they probably won't know what to do because a lot of them do live by themselves. Like the one woman in the video, I think they said she was like 82, 83. She lived by herself. She lived in like pretty bad condition too. So I think it was nice that they were willing to help and make sure that they were taken care of as well, and then obviously taking care of themselves and their family. And I think it was nice that the people were saying that from them helping other people know what to do in a situation, it gives them like a sense of purpose, and sharing their experience. I mean, a lot of those people might have experienced a natural disaster themselves, so I think maybe that's why they wanted to join and learn more. So if for whatever reason it happens again, they can definitely be more prepared this time. And I thought it was funny that even the one lady, when she was talking, she said, like, oh, I know where my flashlight is, I know where my medication is. I think simply knowing where a flashlight is and making sure you have batteries for your flashlight so you can actually use it if you need it is something so simple, but I think people just kind of forget those things because it just doesn't cross our mind that often. And knowing where a first aid kit is, I mean, have one in your car, have one in the kitchen, like, just know where one is. And I think that's something so simple, but something that everyone should have. And I liked that they said that they had, like, sirens built in to the buildings, to give people enough time. They said that some people lived, like, right by, like, the river, so, if the river was like flooding or something, and the siren would go off and it would give people enough time to evacuate, I think that's a good thing, because the one guy said that they could actually sleep at night because they didn't have to like actually stay up and watch for something to happen. Like if the siren went off, then they obviously knew something was going on. So I think that's good. It's like a different way of communicating, like, here's the siren, we need to go, instead of them really like not knowing when the best time would be to evacuate. And another concept that was important to me, obviously, because I'm a psychology major, so I think about this stuff pretty often, would be all of the articles about the mental health impact that disasters have on people. And I said this, I think, in my last video too, just the fact that having a simple area of people, but it's possible that even though that those people are experiencing the same thing, all those people can experience different like emotions because of the disaster, whether it be like anxiety or shock or just being sad if you lose something or someone. So it was just basically saying that that stuff's normal to feel, but if you feel it for too long, or if it's like weeks or months, it's basically indicating that something serious could be wrong, whether it be like PTSD or just anxiety, I guess, and depression. And Yeah, so depression goes into like they could feel hopeless if they like lost their job or their home, stuff like that. And it also said about substance abuse too, if people are depressed. But I thought it was interesting that they said that it's only common in people that were already using before the disaster. So they would probably just up their usage, I guess, whether it be drugs or alcohol or anything like that. And then there was an increase in domestic violence as well, which I thought was surprising, I guess. And I thought it was important that they said that there are obviously interventions that people can take, whether it be like crisis counseling or CBT, psychological first aid. So there was a lot going on with that, but obviously I enjoyed reading it because I read about that kind of stuff all the time. And then I thought it was important that we had multiple articles just about protecting our pets, having them like microchipped or just making sure they have a collar, knowing what to do with them if something were to happen, like have a cage or food or like a little kit just for your pet. Like I think that's so important, and I love that that was in this week because I feel like people are so worried about everyone else, which is obviously great, but then you kind of almost forget about your pet and you're just like, oh my god, like what do I do? Like I feel like it's good to know what to do with your pet because they're obviously gonna have no idea what's going on. So I think my muddiest point this week would have been the fact that I think that women can handle like these kind of situations better, it seemed, and but at the same time they were the ones that seemed to be dying more often, like malnutrition or anything like that, and then they were also the ones that were getting assaulted more. So it was just like very, I don't know, it was just a very like weird concept to me that they could be both. Like they could be the strongest, but they could be the weakest at the same time. And then I guess my question for the class would be, do you think that there should be classes in like middle school and high school like this one, so that kids can know more about this kind of stuff too? Like even teaching kids what to do with their pet in a situation like that. I feel like that would be a good idea because I didn't know half of this stuff until I took my other emergency management class. So, I mean, if I would have known this stuff earlier, I think it would be a good thing for kids to do. So, yeah, I think that's it. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your week.